Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Thursday, June 27, 2024. Today I'm going to recap the NBA, WNBA, and soccer games from yesterday. Look ahead to today's games news report, my latest NHL mock draft, news and notes, and best bet. And by the way, we're going to do an NBA draft recap show at some point. So we're not going to get too much into the draft and news and notes today. We'll start with baseball. We'll go over the results from yesterday and look ahead to today's games. Mariners over the Rays 5-2, Phillies over the Tigers 6-2, Pirates over the Reds 6-1, doubleheader game 1, Braves over the Cardinals 6-2, Astros over the Rockies 7-1, so best bet loss. Royals over the Marlins 5-1, Brewers over the Rangers 6-5-10 on a walk-off single by Andrew Montestero. Angels over the A's 5-2. Padres over the Nationals 8-5. Orioles over the Guardians 4-2 to end their 5-game losing streak. Blue Jays Red Sox suspended will resume today at 2 o'clock. Mets over the Yankees 12-2. Doubleheader game 2. Cardinals over the Braves 4-1. Dodgers over the White Sox 4-0. Twins over the D-backs 8-3. And the Giants over the Cubs 4-3. All right, today's games, I have a few matinee, 3:30, Twins D-backs, David Festa, and Jordan Montgomery. All right. D-backs minus 112, Twins minus 102, over under 9, overs minus 105, unders minus 115, Twins minus 1.5 plus 140, D-backs plus 1.5 is minus 170. I think this is a buy low spot on the Diamondbacks and Jordan Montgomery. We don't know about Festa, so I'm going to D-backs minus 112. 345, Cubs Giants. Shota Imanaga, Jordan Hicks. Pick a minus 180 HY over under 7.5, minus 110 HY. Cubs minus 1.5 plus 152, Giants plus 1.5 is minus 184. When's the last time the Cubs won? They're about to be swept. They haven't won since Saturday. Them and the Yankees are the two teams that really need to get going. I mean, for different reasons. I mean, one team's in first, the other's multiple games under 500. But the Cubs getting swept by the Giants in the 4-gamer, we might need to reconsider a little bit about how we feel about the Cubs. So I'm going to go back to the well one more time and take them on the road with Imanaga on the bump. 4 o'clock makeup game from April 3rd, Braves at the White Sox. Chris Sale and Chad Cole. Ooh, Chris Sale at the White Sox. That's fun. Braves minus 320, White Sox plus 260, over under 8, overs minus 102, unders minus 120. Braves minus 1.5 is minus 192, White Sox plus 1.5 is plus 158. I'm going to go with the over. I know Chris Sale pitched well against his ex-team, but this is just the uncertainty with Chad Cole here. 6:20, that's a weird start time. Marlins, Phillies. Trevor Rogers and Zach Wheeler. Phillies minus 320, Marlins plus 260, over under 8, minus 20 each way. Marlins plus 1.5 is plus 118, Phillies minus 1.5 is minus 142. Tough one, but I'm going to go with the under because it's a Zach Wheeler bet. Rangers O's, 6:30, John Gray, Corbin Burns, so ALDS rematch. O's minus 220, Rangers plus 184, over under 7.5, overs minus 114, unders minus 106. Rangers plus 1.5 is minus 20, O's minus 1.5 is even money. I like the over. I'm not a big John Gray fan. I know he's pitched well this year, but this is a bet on a high-scoring game. 7 o'clock, Yankees, Blue Jays. Carlos Rodon, Jose Barrios. Yankees minus 142, Blue Jays plus 120, over under 8.5, overs even money, unders minus 122. Yankees minus 1.5 plus 118, Jays plus 1.5 is minus 42. I'm tempted to pick the Blue Jays because the Yankees have been really bad for a couple weeks now. Sorry with that Dodgers series, they kind of fell apart with all these injuries and such. Who would have thought the injury to a guy I thought was washed up before the year, and Giancarlo Stanton, would have made this team fall apart. And then obviously Judge and Soto weren't healthy for a couple of days there. I mean, I understand I'm kind of making excuses for the team I root for, but They're not playing well right now. It's the bottom line. I want to pick the Blue Jays plus 120. I want to do it, but instead I'm going with the safer pick and over 8.5 at even money. Carlos Rodon stunk his last 2 starts. And I don't trust Barrios either. So I like the over at even money. 7:45, Reds Cardinals. Andrew Abbott and Miles Mikolas. Cards minus 164, Reds plus 106, over under 8, overs minus 115, unders minus 105. Reds plus 1.5 is minus 92, cards minus 1.5 plus 58. The Cardinals have played a lot better. I would take a shot at them to win the division because I just think Milwaukee's fraudulent. And the Cards were my pick to win the division before the year, so it starting to come around a little bit. I'm going to go with the over, only because Miles Mikolas is not pitch well this year, and I don't really trust Andrew Abbott. 8 o'clock on Fox Sports 1, Guardians Royals. Really sneaky good game. Ben Lively, Michael Wacha. Guardians minus 112, Royals minus 104, over under 8.5, overs minus 122, unders even money. Guardians minus 1.5 is plus 146, Royals plus 1.5 is minus 176. I'm going with the Guardians that's at a low price on the road at minus 112. I like how they've played lately. Taking 2 out of 3 from the Orioles was impressive. So I really like the Guardians here at a short number at minus 112. At 9:30, the Tigers at the Angels, Jack Flaherty and Davis Daniel. Tigers minus 166, Angels plus 140, over under 8.5, overs even money, unders minus 122. Tigers minus 1.5 is even money, Angels plus 1.5 is minus 120. The Tigers have kind of fallen apart from the beginning of the year as well. Do I trust Jack Flaherty on the road? No. That doesn't mean I'm picking the Angels. It's kind of like my philosophy on the Yankee-Blue Jay game. I like over 8.5 at even money. All right, WNBA. We'll go over the results from yesterday. And, all right, that's a lie. We didn't have games yesterday, so we'll just look at today's games. 1 o'clock, Lynx Wings. The Lynx are probably double-digit favorites, if not close. 9.5, close. Total 163. I'm going to lay the points. The Lynx are playing good basketball right now. Oh, wait a second. This might be a letdown spot because they just won the Commissioner's Cup at Barclays against the Liberty. Ooh. Now I'm torn. If they didn't have that big win in the Commissioner's Cup the other night, I would have been all over the Lynx, but I'm going to go with the under instead. Although I might consider the Wings, actually, only because the Lynx are coming off Commissioner's Cup. 7 o'clock, NBA TV and MNMT, Suns Mystics. The Sun are giving 7.5, totals 152.5. I like the over. 7 o'clock on Prime Video, Aces Sky. The Aces are giving a whopping 11, total 171.5. I still don't trust the Aces. I know they blew out Connecticut recently, but that's too high. I think Angel Reese and company will be fired up to play the Aces. This is kind of like their championship against the 2-time reigning champs. So I'm going to go with the Sky getting 11. And at 10 o'clock on Prime Video, Fever Storm. The Storm are giving 8.5, totals 168.5. I'm going to take Indy plus the points. I think Caitlin Clark keeps them in it, keeps them within a couple possessions. So, and I think the Fever have been playing a little better. Yeah, it's 7-11 after, what were they, like 2-10? Yeah, they're playing a lot better. I don't mind the Seattle team. I think they're pretty good, but I think Indy covers 8.5. I am tempted to do like an underdog parlay with the Wings, the Fever, and the Sky. Like all straight up. See how like that would pay out. That would be pretty sick. Alright, now let's go on to soccer. We'll go over the results from yesterday and look ahead to today. We'll start with the Euros. Slovakia, Romania 1-1 draw. Ukraine, Belgium 0-0 draw. Georgia upsets Portugal 2-0. And Turkey beats Czech Republic 2-1. So the round of 16 doesn't start until Saturday. So we'll preview and pick Saturday and Sunday games on tomorrow's podcast. Copa America group stage. Ecuador over Jamaica 3-1. Venezuela over Mexico 1-0. All right, 6 o'clock tonight on Fox is Panama, USA. If the U.S. doesn't win this, they're a freaking joke. And the coach better get freaking fired if they lose this game, which they better freaking not. We're minus 270. Panama's 8-1. The draw's plus 370. So, I do think U.S. will win. They're superior to Panama. But I'm going to go over 2.5 goals at minus 118. Nine o'clock on Fox. Uruguay, Bolivia. Also Group C. Uruguay minus 600. Bolivia 16-1. The draw's plus 650. I'm going to go with under 2.5 goals at plus 128. So that's going to be an interesting night in Group C. Although I do expect both favorites to win here. I'm just going to double check and make sure there's no MLS or Women's League. So Friday's Women's. We have MLS on Friday too. From Yankee Stadium and USL Friday. All right. Now we'll do my latest NHL mock draft. I really am fascinated for tomorrow night because there's a lot of movement with the number 2 pick. So we got to keep an eye on that storyline. But anyway, my latest mock draft. Number 1, San Jose Sharks. Macklin Celebrini, center, Boston University, NCAA. This is a slam dunk for the Sharks, who need a young star to build around for the foreseeable future. Celebrini has the experience of excelling against strong competition, so he should fit right in. 2, the Chicago Blackhawks. Artyom Levshunov, defenseman, Michigan State, NCAA. The Blackhawks have plenty of choices of fine defensemen here, and they choose Levshunov. He has the NHL size already and has a great two-way game, too. But yeah, regarding the Blackhawks' number 2 pick, there's a lot of speculation that it could be Demidov, the wing, which he's very talented, but the Blackhawks need defense. 3, the Anaheim Ducks. Anton Silyev, defenseman, Torpedo, Russia. The Ducks are still looking for long-term keepers, especially on defense, and Silyev is a good start. He has a great defensive upside due to his skating and range. 4, the Columbus Blue Jackets. Ivan Demidov, wing, SKA, St. Petersburg, Russia. The Jackets here go with another forward to go with their young group in Demidov. He's a super explosive player that has skills to be around for a long time. 5, the Montreal Canadiens. Caden Lindstrom, center, Medicine Hat, WHL. The Canadiens take a center in Lindstrom at 5 to go with Nick Suzuki down the middle. He's a physical presence who can produce despite some injury concerns. 6, the Utah Hockey Club. Sam Dickinson, defenseman, London. The new Utah franchise needs an entirely new rebirth, and Dickinson is not a place to start. Some scouts say he's like an NHL veteran with his defensive play and physicality, and his offensive game broke out this past season. 7, the Ottawa Senators. Zane Perquet, defenseman, Senegal, OHL. Perquet is a prototypical offensive defenseman in the sense that he's the type of player in its rebuild. As his defensive play improves, so would his value. 8, the Seattle Kraken. Berkeley Catton, center, Spokane, WHL. Catton here at 8 for the Kraken is a reach, and quite frankly, they should go defense here. Catton excels in all facets of the game with no glaring weaknesses whatsoever besides his lack of size. But yeah, to me, Berkeley Catton should be at the end of the lottery. 9, the Calgary Flames. Tej Aginla, center, Kelowna, WHL. Of course, the first mock has legendary Flames, or not just the first mock, but all the mocks have had legendary Flame Jerome Sun going to Calgary. Aginla improved big time this past season with his great shot and willingness to go to tough areas with the puck. But yeah, this is the Bronny James of the NHL draft. It's consensus that the son is going to go to the father's team. 10, the New Jersey Devils. Consta Hellenis, center, HIFK, Finland. The Devils need forward prospects badly, and here I have them taking Hellenis. He's a very well-rounded player with his ability to be ahead in the game and excels defensively. 11. The Buffalo Sabres. Carter Yamachuk, defenseman, Calgary, WHL. There are many directions that the Sabres can go here, and defense makes sense. Yakimchuk is super involved for a D-man with his play in transition and creating chances for teammates. 12. The Philadelphia Flyers. Zeev Boyum, defenseman, Denver, NCAA. This would be a great pick for the Flyers who need more young building blocks on D. Boyum has all the makings of a franchise D-man with his ability to put up points, defend his own end, and log up minutes. I think Boyum is a top 5 talent in this draft. They really do. I think the defense is amazing. 13. The Minnesota Wild. Beckett Sinek, wing, Oshawa, OHL. The Wild should go defense here, but they go offense here at Sinek. He's a powerful player that overwhelms opponents with driving to the net. 14. The San Jose Sharks from the Pittsburgh Penguins. Cole Eiserman, wing, U.S. National Team Development Program, USHL. The Sharks get another forward with their second first-rounder in Eiserman. His scoring ability is top-notch, but his defensive play would keep him out of the top 10. 15. The Detroit Red Wings. Michael Brandseg Nygard, wing, Mora, Sweden. The Red Wings came oh so close to breaking their playoff drought, and they add to their young collection of talent here with Brandseg Nygard. He's a super physical player that excels in the offensive zone too. 16. The St. Louis Blues. Adam Jiricek, defenseman, Plzeň, Czech Republic. This pick makes sense for the Blues, who can use more defense prospects. He isn't flashy, but his skill set can make him slide into a team's top 4. 17. The Washington Capitals. Michael Haig, center, Chicago, USHL. The Capitals go with the young American center here with Haig to go with the rest of their young forwards. He excels in the rush with give-and-go playmaking. 18. The Chicago Blackhawks from the New York Islanders. Sasha Boisford, center, Muskegon, USHL. With their second first-rounder, the Blackhawks get depth behind Connor Bedard with another center in Boisford. He is an elite goal scorer and also a great passer. 19. The Vegas Golden Knights. Trevor Connolly, wing, Tri-City, USHL. The Knights can go anywhere here, but some may argue Connolly here is somewhat of a reach. Connolly excels with the puck in space and makes good moves when defenders are around. 20. The New York Islanders from the Tampa Bay Lightning via the Chicago Blackhawks. Liam Greentree, wing, Windsor, OHL. The Islanders go with the forward here with Greentree, which makes sense. He's constantly scanning, registering his opponents, and the obstacles that would keep him from getting to the puck. 21. The Los Angeles Kings. Tarek Parasak, wings, Prince George, WHL. The Kings need more youth in the pipes as Parasak is gaining momentum as a first-rounder. He's a points machine, but his size isn't overwhelming. 22. The Nashville Predators. Igor Chernyshov, wing, Dynamo Moscow, Russia. The Predators need some more youth in their system, and Chernyshov is an interesting choice here. He is great at beating defenders and building up speed below the puck. 23. The Toronto Maple Leafs. Stian Solberg, defenseman, Vålerenga. There's a chance Solberg goes higher than this, so the Leafs getting him here at 23 is really good. Solberg is an old-school player that repels opponents and always is around the puck and moves well with it. 24. The Colorado Avalanche. Andrew Basha, forward, Medicine Hat Tigers. The Avalanche need more young forwards, and Basha is a fast riser in the draft. He's average size, but has a good competitive drive and provides enough upside with his skill and hockey sense that he could be a nice late first-round pick. 25. The Boston Bruins from the Ottawa Senators via Detroit Red Wings and the Bruins themselves. Cole Bioden, center, Barrie, OHL. The Bruins get their original first-round pick back in the Linus Ullmark deal and go with the center in Bioden. He eats up the boards, grinds them, spins off opponents, drags the puck out of traffic, and gets it to the middle of the ice. 26. The Montreal Canadiens from the Winnipeg Jets. Emil Hemming, wing, TPS, Finland. With their second first-rounder, the Habs take another forward in Hemming. He's an explosive scorer, and his shot types vary and can score from a distance. 27. The Carolina Hurricanes. Jet Lachenko, center, Gulf, OHL. The Hurricanes should go with the best player available, and they get a steal here in Lachenko. He is a very fast player and applies pressure on opponents. 28, the Calgary Flames from the Vancouver Canucks. E.J. Emery, defenseman, National Team Development Program, USHL. The Flames here take a super fast rising defense prospect in Emery, which in this range may not be reached after all. Emery absorbs and erases opposing rushes with smooth backward strides and a stable, perfect posture. 29, the Dallas Stars. Marek Vanacker, wing, Brantford. The Stars here go with the fast riser in Vanacker. He could have gone higher than this if it weren't for an injury, but he's versatile and is a point producer. 30, the New York Rangers. Nikita Artamonov, wing, Torpedo, Russia. The Rangers add to their youth of forwards here with Artamonov. He has a high motor, he's intelligent, and he could beat you with pace or skill. 31, the Anaheim Ducks from the Edmonton Oilers. Sam O'Reilly, center, London, OHL. The Ducks with their second first-rounder go with the talented forward in O'Reilly. He's a relentless shutdown defensive center with physicality, details, and a clever, quick-touch passing game. And 32, the Philadelphia Flyers from the Florida Panthers. Charlie Ellick, defenseman, Brandon, WHL. This would be a solid choice for the Flyers as they double down on defensemen. Ellick is a physical and proactive player and is a great skater as well. So, there you have it for the NHL mock draft. Now I'll do the news and notes for today. So, how about this? Jason Tatum, like I said, I really didn't want to get into draft stuff, but Jason Tatum says that the Celtics will regret not drafting Kyle Filipowski. I could see that, but I think Baylor Shireman was a decent pick. Dalton Knecht slid all the way to 17 to the Lakers, and executives were less concerned about his medical history, but his age led to his slide. How about this? J.J. Redick was already drawing plays for Dalton Knecht after the Lakers drafted him. So the Pistons were looking to move back in the draft, which makes sense. And the Hornets had eyes on the number 3 pick for trading up. But gets the Rockets asked for too much. So Zach Edey was linked to the Grizzlies before they took him. And that's if the Donovan Clingan trade up didn't happen, which it didn't. Shohei Ohtani advised to avoid the Derby. That was a tough thing to say. Dave Roberts hopes that Ohtani doesn't participate due to the Tommy John possibility of a setback. Which makes sense. So OG Anunoby got re-signed by the Knicks, 5 years, $212.5 million, biggest contract in Knicks history. Okay, I understand why the Knicks did it. They gave up a significant package to get him, RJ Barrett, and who else did they? Oh, Emmanuel Quickley, and then the second rounder for OG and Precious Achiuwa. But I think that contract's ridiculous. That's going to go down as one of the worst contracts in the NBA. He's never healthy. And, I mean, I know Knicks fans are excited and it had to get done. But I wouldn't have done it for the max. That's just my opinion. But sometimes you have to overpay to keep somebody. I understand that, but I don't like that contract at all. I think it's going to go down potentially as one of the worst contracts in the NBA soon next season. I really do. And this is probably the worst contract that they've had since when they re-signed Carmelo 10 years ago. And I was a big Carmelo Anthony fan, of course. And the next person to get paid might be their head coach, Tom Thibodeau, as they're likely to extend him in the near future. That is something they must get done. And he better get paid the same amount as like Steve Kerr and Eric Spoelstra, because he was better than both those guys this year. And I love both those coaches. I think they're both great coaches. But he was a better coach than those guys this past season, and he's deserved that money. And you know who else is going to get paid that kind of money, and everyone's going to roll their eyes? Joe Mazzulla, who just won the NBA championship. Isaiah Hartenstein linked to the Magic and the Thunder. That doesn't surprise me at all with the Thunder, but the Magic's a weird fit. Amari Cooper wants a deal as he's trying to avoid injuries after missing OTAs. So the 49ers and Brandon Ayuk had a good meeting as there's no plans for a trade right now after both sides said things that needed to be said. Tua is not offered in the golf range as they are dug into their position. They won't pay Tua a similar $212 million deal, as they shouldn't. Tua is always freaking hurt, and to me, his success this past season was more having to do with the fact he finally has a WR1. I'm not saying Tua stinks. I don't think Tua stinks. But my point is that Tua shouldn't be paid as much as some of those other guys. And quite frankly, I don't think Jared Goff should have been paid as much as he did. He just got paid based off his good stats. Granted, he made the NFC title game. I get it. But the Jared Goff contract might be the next Daniel Jones contract, for what we know. Or the next Derek Carr contract. And so would Tua. But Tua more so the Daniel Jones contract because of all the injuries and stuff. But granted, Tua's better than Daniel Jones. It's not even close. But my point is because of his injury history, Tua doesn't deserve to be paid that much. Kristaps Porzingis could start could miss the start next season as he's recovering from the rare leg injury. Brad Stevens said it on the Ryan Russillo podcast. So Colts GM Chris Ballard says that Anthony Richardson is a full go as he's confident Anthony Richardson will enter training camp without limitations. Sad news in college football. Former South Florida tight end Teagan Martin passes away in the car crash, 20 years old. Rest in peace. And thoughts and prayers go to his family, friends, and the South Florida program. The NHL approves rule changes as Board of Governors updates coaches' challenges and more for the 2024-25 season. And another big contract extension I think is well-deserved. Bam Adebayo, 3 years, $166 million. I think he should have gotten more than that. Bam Adebayo is really a valuable player. He's one of the best, arguably, 5 centers in the NBA. And he helped carry his team to the finals last year and avoided a 3-0 collapse. Although everyone says if Tatum doesn't roll his ankle, the Celtics pull off that comeback, which could be true. I mean, we were talking about the Celtics as back-to-back champions. Not that they would have beaten Denver, but you never know. But that's a really good extension by Miami. Good job by locking down Bam. And now the question is Jimmy Butler. That's the big elephant in the room right now there. There's a lot of trade rumors around Jimmy Butler. And he's old now. And I'm interested to see who pulls the trigger on him. I thought that was a Knicks possibility because of his connection to Tom Thibodeau. But ultimately, the Knicks traded for the right player in Mikal Bridges, in my opinion. And quite frankly, I think what the Knicks learned and what we all learned is that Jalen Brunson can be the best player on a championship team. And I don't think the Knicks knew that a year ago. I don't think anyone knew that a year ago. So, the Thunder traded up to the Knicks Oh, wait a second. Let me explain this better. So the Knicks had 24 and 25. The Wizards trade up from 26 to 24. And then the Knicks end up with 26. And OKC trades up to 26. And the Knicks get 5 second-round picks within the next 3 years. As the Thunder took Dylan Jones at 26. I did not like that trade up by OKC. I mean, it wasn't as bad as the other trade up in the lottery a couple years ago with that international player. So, it's going to be interesting with this the rest of this draft and what everybody does. But that's a lot of second-round picks. So the Minnesota trades up to 8 to take Rob Dillingham. And the Spurs get a 2031 first-round pick and a 2030 pick swap. I think it was a risky trade for Minnesota. But some are going to say, oh, well, Anthony Edwards is still going to be young and really good by then. Yes, that's all true, but you never know with injuries and such. I mean, the Knicks could have had a lottery pick last year if the Mavericks made the play-in game and lost rather than not making the playoffs, because I understand it worked out for Dallas with tanking and getting Derek Lively, and they probably don't make the finals without Derek Lively, as crazy as that sounds. So, some of these trades can be risky, and you never know with injuries and such. But in the short term, I don't hate it for Minnesota. And obviously, Zachary Ricochet went to the Hawks at 1, like we thought. Jimmy Butler to hit 2025 free agency, as he doesn't plan on signing an extension with the Heat or any other team. The Blazers acquired Denny Avdija from the Wizards for Malcolm Brogdon, the 14th pick, and a 2029 pick. I like the deal for Portland. This draft's weak. And I think that there's a chance Scoot Henderson could still be the guy. So, I like it for Portland. I don't really care for it for the Wizards. Brogdon, they could flip again. But the 2029 pick, maybe the Blazers are good by then. So, yeah, I did not like it for Washington. I liked it for Portland. But a lot of people didn't like it for either side. The Suns are still eyeing Bronny James as they continue to be mentioned as a team with interest in drafting him. A lot of people think he's going to the Lakers. I want to zag and says he goes elsewhere, either, whether it's the Sixers or the Suns or the Clippers or the Celtics, who are potentially going to take him. Kevin Durant did not request a trade, as the Suns expected to keep Kevin Durant amid Rockets rumors. Paul George is not high on the Sixers move, as Philly got the sense that Paul George prefers to stay at LA. Now it seems like he's going to leave, and that was reported yesterday morning after I did the show. Marcus Smart was linked to the Rockets, as that didn't happen. How about this? Golden State Warriors prepared to give Paul George and max, as they're eyeing Paul George and are willing to offer him a 4-year max. Oh my God. That's going to be like the last hurrah move for Golden State in terms of keeping their window and stuff open. Of course, the Warriors are shopping Andrew Wiggins, as he's expected to be aggressively dangled in trade talks. DeMar DeRozan is linked to the Clippers, as the possibility of the Clippers parting ways with Paul George. The Timberwolves are hoping to keep Karl Anthony Towns despite luxury tax concerns. We'll see what happens there. Jimmy Butler plans to stay with the Heat for next season. The Nets wanted a 2024 pick, as teams expected to offer Brooklyn first-rounders for Cam Johnson or Dorian Finney-Smith, which didn't happen. The Nets to give Nick Claxton $100 million 4-year deal. All they're doing there is retaining the asset. So I get why they did that. So, Bronny to the Celtics, that's like the fourth best odds, right? With the 54th pick, which is ahead of the Lakers at 55. So, obviously the big story for tonight is where does Bronny go? I have a feeling it's going to be somewhere other than the Lakers, only because it just feels like something that's hyped up to happen that doesn't happen. So there you have it for news and notes. Last but not least, my best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. So this is a hard one. Part of me is tempted to go with the WNBA. I'm actually going to give it out. I don't think I've done a WNBA best bet all year, but here it goes. I'm taking the Chicago Sky getting 11 against the Aces. The Aces, to me, can't be trusted, especially on the road. They've been mediocre most of the season. I understand they blew out Connecticut. Now is like their remember us, we're the champs kind of game. Maybe they are going to play possum this regular season like how the Chiefs did in football, which is a really good comparison. That's a great comparison. The Chiefs and the Vegas Aces in terms of possum teams. But anyway, I don't think they care. I mean, I'm sure they care about this game, but I'm sure they don't care about covering the number. That's what I mean. I think Angel Reese plays well. I think Chicago hangs around, and best case scenario, they lose by 7. So I'm going to say Chicago getting 11 at home against the Aces. I just think that's too high. All right, so there you have it for the show, and I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything, and then maybe tonight with an NBA draft recap, and then obviously I'll do my last NHL mock draft before tomorrow. We'll do all the racing stuff as well, and we'll have golf to talk about as well. Hope you guys have a great day, everyone.